Welcome to tonight's webinar, everyone. We're so glad you could join us to do good things for kids by strengthening your PTA's membership. My name is Tamara Sortman, Governance and Support Services Manager for the California State PTA, and I will be your moderator this evening. Our panelists tonight are Justine Fisher, Brian Bonner, and Carol Green, who will be taking over in just a moment after I take care of a few housekeeping items. Let's walk through some of the features on our control panel. Once you logged into the webinar, your control panel should have appeared on the right side of your screen. Your audio settings are located here. If you have any trouble with your computer's audio, your headset, or if you just prefer to call in by phone, click on the telephone button to receive the call-in number and personalized audio pin. During the session, everyone's microphones will be muted to reduce any background noise. But we do still want to hear from you. So you'll see right here, there is a questions window. Type and send in your questions at any time during the webinar, and I'll queue them up for the presenters to address during the Q&A session at the end. And also, please take a moment to jot down my email and cell phone on the bottom of the page here. If you have any technical difficulties during the webinar, I am going to be monitoring my texts and emails and will try to assist as best I can. We are recording this session, so if you have any other board members that weren't able to make it tonight, we will be having a recording available that they can view. And now it's my pleasure to introduce you to Justine Fisher, President of the California State PTA.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Tam, and thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening as we get ready for our next year in PTA and our membership year of 2016-2017. It's going to be a great year, and I like to talk to people, and I want to just share with you the things how I see PTA and its three amazing parts. Sometimes people have disagreements about what kind of organization PTA is, but I always say that we're a three-part organization. First and foremost, we are an advocacy organization, and we work hard to make sure that we're doing good things for kids in the legislative area. Actually, right now today, I'm in Sacramento, and I just did a presentation and testimony on family engagement for the State Board of Ed. And that's part of what we do, is making sure that our legislators and our Board of Education and our California Department of Education understand what's important for kids. The second part of what we do is we develop leaders, just like you, just like me, like Brian and Carol. We help them grow and learn and run their PTAs and what they need to do to be effective in that role, to provide training for the president, for membership, for treasurer, and all of those areas. And finally, the third part, and probably the most important part, because the other two parts could never happen without this one. Most importantly, we're a membership organization, and our strength comes from our membership. Membership supplies our voice in Sacramento and nationally. Membership supplies our resources, meaning that's the dues that you pay up to California State PTA. Those dues go to provide things like this webinar, our website, support system, programs, and all of those wonderful things that PTA does to encourage advocacy and to encourage leadership development. So I want to thank you for joining us tonight to learn more about the membership year, and thank you again for all your work on behalf of our children, California's greatest natural resource. And so I want to introduce to you our Vice President for Membership, Brian Bonner.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight, our webinar will cover the subjects that you see on your screen. We want to work with you, provide you support, and any resources and information you need to meet our goals. I want to talk about the perks and incentives and challenges that we're going to use to help increase membership this year. Also, Carol Green, our Communications Vice President, will go over with you about communications and marketing. At the end, when you see the part about questions is more of a roundtable so that we can get some discussion from you. Also, I know that many of you have some information that can help each other and help us at the state level. And then we'll say a couple final words so that you can get on to your lives. So if we can go on to the next slide. What we need from everybody is an increase in membership. This year we want to see a 2% increase over last year. So if you had 100 members last year, please work to get yourselves to at least 102 members. And so the question, have you already set a goal for your unit? We've set a goal at the state level, and the having a goal gives you something to work for. And I want to remind you that the more members we have, the more we're able to do good things for kids. And I'm going to tell a little story right now about how we came up with the membership theme. You saw the Do Good Things for Kids, join PTA. Many years ago, I was going to a state PTA convention, and I turned my phone on, and there was a text from my 11-year-old daughter. And on that text, she said, "Do good things for kids." She knew I was going to a PTA convention, and in 5 words, she summed up why we do what we do at PTA. And we've incorporated that into this year's membership theme. And I wish I could take credit for it all, but it goes back to an 11-year-old who's now 27. So let's go on to the next slide. And you'll see that we've got our incentives, perks, and challenges are a little bit under construction. I have to go to the board of directors next week to make sure that we can give you the complete information. Ready, Set, Remit will be a part of the incentives and challenges next year. We need you to be sure that dues for 30 members have come up to the state level by the end of October. Also, we've got a brand new membership incentive program that's being proposed to our board of directors next week. I can tell you that Teachers Matter and the Kickoff to Mail membership are going to be rolled into the new program, and they'll look a lot different than they did before. We're trying to do something new and exciting, and that will give us all a chance for greater success in the next year. So can we move on? Okay, a big thing we have, if you take a look down at the bottom of the screen, the footer looks a little different. That's the link on our website for member perks. We have gone out, our Resource Development Committee has worked hard to provide a number of perks that go along with becoming a member of California State PTA. Brand new this year is Google Express, and you may have already received some information about that. I'm sure you'll receive more information about that. It's a very exciting opportunity for us and our members. We have a number of perks that you've seen before. Aquarium of the Pacific is really popular. Legoland is also really popular. Enterprise Car Rental I've used myself and has saved money in the past. Comcast Internet Essentials is useful for our people who need assistance in getting connected to the internet and to the World Wide Web. It's an effort to close the digital divide. And the VIA Foundation is a way of getting assistance in getting AED, automated electronic defibrillators, to schools to prevent early death from heart attacks. And so we've got a wide range of member perks here that go along with becoming a member. And I urge you to highlight that to the people that you want to have join the PTA. That it's backup. It's really a good range of perks that we're offering for you. Can we go on to the next? So as leaders in PTA, and either your presidents or membership chairs or vice presidents, and the big thing that we need is for you to be excited about the job. Membership provides the lifeblood for this organization. It provides you volunteers, provides you with revenue, and it provides us upstream from people at the local units with the revenue we need to provide services and resources for you. Need to get a theme and a goal for your unit or your district or your council. And the goal, we're hoping, will be tied to the 2% goal that we set at the state level. You need membership envelopes and membership cards. Cards have gone out already to districts. And for those of you who don't have membership envelopes, don't wait on that. Go ahead and put the orders in, and we'll get you the membership envelopes. We've printed many thousands and thousands of envelopes for you, so they're ready for you to come. Also, put together a procedure binder or disc. Nowadays, many of us have gone to doing stuff electronically, so you can keep the information of what you've done for your membership year, either in a binder or a disc to pass on to your successor. Also, find out what your membership was last year so you know where you were and what you need to do to grow. We will provide that information to your district presidents, and they should be able to share it with you. Also, if you have last year's membership list, it's really important. That's a good place to start by remembering to invite them to rejoin PTA at your school. And if you don't have a membership list, start one for the next year. So can we go on to the next slide? And membership is everybody's responsibility, and it's important that you have a committee. And so we're going to start, again, set your attainable goal. 2%, 2 more than last year if you had 100 members, is something that's reachable. Some of you may have opportunities to grow more than 2%, and please don't stop at 2%. Have a membership theme, something that ties things together for your unit. We've got, and don't feel at all shy about using the membership theme that we have here at the state level. I like to think it's a really good one. And develop some outreach strategies, and Carol Green will work with you a little bit more on that. But you need to be able to reach out to the people at your school, people in your community. You've got people that you can reach out to, like your school board members or your city council members and your county board of supervisors. They're waiting for you to ask to join. And also provide the recognition to the people who have joined. A thank you note, and in particular a membership card, is a way of letting people know that you value their participation in your PTA unit. And so we can go on to the next one. And in your membership plan, you need to put a budget for your membership activities. And it's really important that you do put it in a budget, and be sure when you adopt your budget at your first meeting that you do have some money set aside for membership, for the perks that you might want to give locally, and for the materials that you need to make your membership plan work. And do you want to do a competition? Do you want to provide some local incentives? Many schools will have a challenge where you have the principal will get a haircut in front of everybody, or the president of PTA will take a pie in the face. Anything like that to reach your goal. And be sure you set a calendar for the things that you want to do. And remember that membership is a year-round activity. You have new families coming into your school at all times during the year, and that people you may have missed in the fall, it's not too late to try to get them to join again and later on in the year. But it's something that you do all year long. And in your outreach, be sure that if you have multilingual school, that you provide materials in languages that represent your student population there. We at State PTA, you can apply for translation grants to help you if you have a language that needs materials for your membership campaign. So can we go on to the next slide? So we want to give you some tips for doing the campaigns. You want you to do it early and often. It's kind of like vote early and vote often, but the big thing is that you need to not do things just once. Sometimes you know that sometimes you have to hear things 3 times before you remember it. Teachers and the staff at the school are really important to your membership. There is the T in PTA, and they are very important partners in our association. And don't talk to the people who've already joined, and you know that they'll join. Find out the people who haven't joined and reach out to them, and be sure that you find out what they need and to get them to join. Also, do a public thermometer or some other measure of reaching your goal at the school. Work with your principal, and you can put up a big thing is the membership thermometer. That frequently happens. So that the people at the school can see that you're getting close to where you want to be. And design some contests and recognition. Do you want to have competition between the grades? Do you want to provide a parking place for the classroom that has the most members? There are a number of things that you can do to stimulate and growth in membership at your school. So let's go to the next slide. And the one thing I do want to highlight, because recently I got a note from a member of a unit who wanted to take her kids to Legoland, but both of the schools that she attended hadn't given out membership cards. And so, yes, it's really, really important to issue membership cards. And so we were able to get this parent taken care of, but she shouldn't have had to contact the state vice president for membership about getting her membership card. So want to pass this on to Carol Green now. And pardon me. I want to pass it on to Justine.
Thanks, Brian. So I just want to give you one more reminder after we've had a lot of information on the exciting things that we can do to increase and promote membership so we can make sure that we're great advocates and we can make sure that we're developing our leaders, developing all of you. And then also just a reminder of all the wonderful things that your membership brings you. This webinar, for one, the website, resources especially right now about all the changes in California education so that you know what's going to be happening with testing and assessment and all kinds of information that you need for schools, the wonderfully beautiful Reflections program, our scholarship and grants, so many things that we have going on in California State PTA with resources for you that come from our membership. And you know, I always remember, telling people, and I've been telling people this for years, not everyone can volunteer in the school, and man, I would love everyone to be able to do that, but sometimes that's not really realistic. But what everybody can do is be a member, and that support makes it possible for things to happen at the school site. I have for a lot of years given PTA memberships to brand new parents, slipped it into that welcome baby card along with another gift because it's a great time to start, and also talked about PTA programs with people who don't have kids necessarily in school to let them know what they're supporting. So it's just a reminder again of how important our membership piece is to the bigger picture to make sure that we are being able to do the best things we can for children and families and live our mission and positively impact their lives every day. And the biggest question we often get is, that all sounds great, but how do I actually do it? And so I'm really excited that Carol Green is on this webinar, and she is going to walk through with you a kind of plan to get yourself going. So take it away, Carol.
Isn't that the million-dollar question? How are we going to raise membership? But really, everybody that's on this webinar has the answers, and what I'm going to hopefully help you to do is to put all those strategies that you have in your head down to a plan that makes sense and that's really, really doable. So developing a marketing plan for your PTA can help you attain your PTA goals in a strategic and purposeful way. After all, this is what all those people do to us as we drive down the freeway and we see the billboards. It's what McDonald's does to us and Target does to us and Victoria's Secret does to us. They're all trying to entice us. And we don't have, food or products to sell. We have the most important thing we have is an organization that does great things for kids. So how can we not possibly share that information in a meaningful, strategic, and purposeful way? Well, PTA does great things for kids at the local, regional, state, and national levels. But sometimes in our community, we just don't tell people what we're doing. And I myself have been guilty of this. You think, well, really, you don't know who the PTA is? We're doing all these things. We're doing all these great programs at the school, and we're doing all these things at the national level, and we're doing all these things at the state level, and we're behind this law that, made it safer for kids, and we started the juvenile justice program, and we started the hot lunch program, and we're advocating for kids every single day, and people are like, really, PTA? So what I'm hoping to do with our marketing plan, and really what this is it's a template for you. We're going to have 3 goals in this plan, although marketing can do a lot of things. But they really boil down to 3 things: increasing awareness, increasing membership, and developing loyalty. And once you understand those principles and how they work, that can go for any marketing goal that you might have for your PTA or other organization as well. So in developing your PTA membership strategy, we have these 3 goals, and I will be repeating things over again because it's important to remember. We're going to increase the positive awareness. That means not just the people at the school, but the people in the community, the people throughout the county, everyone that you come into contact with, and people that you don't come in contact with, that there is just a pervasive positive feeling about PTA. Then the next thing we're going to do is increase our membership. And then we're going to increase the loyalty. As we increase the loyalty, that increases the positive awareness, which increases the membership. So increasing the awareness gives you the larger audience, the bigger pool, more potential members. Increasing the membership means that you convert people that are aware of PTA into people that are members. And increasing the loyalty means that the members that feel vested become more fans, they become your advocates, and they help us succeed more and more. The loyalty of members are the recruiters, the volunteers, and that's how you become sustainable as a PTA. Okay, so how do we do that? The first thing in increasing the awareness is like dropping a pebble in a pond. You want to start close to your school site, close to your PTA, your school community. And then you're going to spread out to your neighborhood, your city, your region, the state, the nation, however big your bubble can go. But you're going to start at your school community. And the easiest way to do this is to make a list of the programs that you already do in your PTA. All the things that you do that are great. The back-to-school night events, the parent education programs, the talent shows, the multicultural nights, all of those things that you do as a PTA, make a list of them. Now, if your list is short, if you don't have a lot of things that you've been doing, then go ahead and brainstorm. If money and volunteers were no object, what things would you do for kids? And of course, include your principal and teachers and site administrators in this process, and make a list. And so that's how you start, and you share that list with all the people in your school community, saying these are the things the PTA does, these are the things the PTA wants to do. Now, that ripple will spread out now. Now, fortunately for all of us, PTA, with nearly 120 years of service, has a well-known brand. Companies spend a lot of money to get a well-known brand, and we have it in PTA. We want to make sure that PTA is known for the right reasons. So as we start close to home, know that California State PTA and National PTA are working to make sure that that positive awareness is statewide and nationwide. So as you increase your awareness around the neighborhood, you could have a table at a street fair, you could participate in the local parade, you can present at community events. If we're the family engagement experts, perhaps you want to say a few words about family engagement. Or you get the great PTA in California that's coming out soon that has a lot of information about family engagement, a lot of information about the new assessments, and information about PTA membership. Those resources are available for you. As you increase your awareness, don't forget you can speak at public comment at your school board meetings, at your city council meetings. And with each step that you further engage the wider community, a few things happen. First of all, people think, oh, PTA. Those are the ones, those people, us people, that group is the one that does good things for kids. That's my kid's school. And as they become more aware of it, they think, oh, I should join, I should support them, I should get involved. And that's how we make it easier to recruit members. So as you increase positive awareness, you create a general positive feeling. People around your area and further know that you do good things for kids. And you take the people that are members and you create fans and advocates, whether or not they volunteer or they're just out there saying positive things. And that's what helps us get our membership. So it creates a general positive feeling, makes people more likely that they'll want to join and volunteer if they have the time. They call it friend raisers in nonprofit groups. So they also creates a feeling of I'm proud to be part of that group because of all the great things that they do. So great, great. Everyone loves us. PTA is wonderful, but how do we turn that into more members? Well, I like to think of it as, first of all, you need to take aim. Yay! Tam's so good with those graphics. So AIM stands for Audience, Influence, and Message. And so first of all, you want to think of who are your likely members. Who are all of those different audiences that you have out there? And then who are the influencers? Now this is a marketing technique. This is where it's just a little bit different than some of the other things we've talked about. Instead of the PTA president or the principal being the one sort of pounding the PTA drum, find out the people that are the influencers. Who are the key people that can influence that particular audience, and then develop the key messages. The message is basically going to be what's in it for me to each of those audiences. You can go to the next slide. So then what you do is how you've identified your audience, you've highlighted your key influencers, and you've found out what your key messages are going to be. Then you want to figure out how are you going to deliver that message. So some of your sort of big pool ideas, that might be on Twitter, Facebook, an article in the newspaper, that's your big pool. But as we mentioned, you're going to start as close to home as you can. You're going to possibly send out a letter to all of the parents at the school. So that's the how. Is it going to be social media? Is it going to be an email? Is it going to be having a table at the school? So which audience, who's most likely to influence them, what's the message that we want to send, how are we going to do it, and when are we going to do it? And it sounds pretty simple, but once you put all those pieces together in a plan, it really does help you know what you're going to do next. And that takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. Of course, you can adjust it and add to it, but at least you have a template. You have your membership marketing plan rather than just some crazy ideas that Carol thought of in the middle of the night, which could be part of the plan. We have done a membership survey in the past, a few years ago, and the people that did the survey found that there are 3 most effective messages. And I'm just giving it to you right here and now. Use these messages. These are your key messages for some of your audiences. So by joining PTA, you're supporting the valuable programs and services delivered at your school. So that's a message for you to give to the parents, the teachers, the families at your school. By joining PTA, you do support the school and the students, and it's completely separate from any obligation to volunteer or make any other commitments. So that takes care of the I'm too busy, I don't have time. We understand that you're busy. Just join. We just want you to join because that membership supports the PTA. And then for people that like the perks, and we all do, your membership pays for itself with tangible membership perks. You're going to go to Legoland one time, you're going to save more than $10, and your membership is basically paid for. The thing to keep in mind when you're delivering these messages and when you're developing these messages, and we'll do a little chart in a second, is that the messages aren't inconsistent, but they're all focused on the different group. So for example, probably your biggest group, and that's the one you want to start with, is going to be the parents, the teachers, and the family and the school community. These messages that I just mentioned are perfect for those people. But perhaps for the business owners that are a little bit right around your school, but they don't have kids at the school, the message is that by joining PTA, you support the school, which educates the children that will be your future workers in your business. That will be the future patrons of your business. That will help them be good citizens to frequent your business. So it's just a little bit of tweaking. And you go to the next slide. So this is sort of a template for your marketing plan. And the easiest way to do this is just to sort of give you an example. So on one side of your paper, you write down the audience. So this is, here's the easiest way to start, your current members. The people that joined last year that are currently on your membership list, their membership's not going to expire in the fall, but you want them to join right away. You'll know this in a lot of political campaigns. The people that they go to for donations first are the people that have already donated. Your current members are your most likely, almost a guarantee, as long as you're nice to them, people. And who's the influencer to that group? It's possibly the PTA president. Maybe the easiest way to do that is to just send an email. And you figure out what the key message is. Thank you so much for joining last year. We have these great programs we want to do next year, and do it early, probably before school starts. Another thing you might want to say is those members, if their kids have gone on to middle school, or if you're in high school and those kids have graduated, how about a great gift to the school because your child got a great education, join the PTA. Another big group is the parents, of course. And what I want to let you know is that you don't have to create this message all on your own. You go to the California State PTA website. There is a fill-in-the-blank, ready-to-go membership flyer, and you can use it, and it's in multiple languages. You also have an opportunity in this example to speak at back-to-school night, or to have the teachers speak at back-to-school night in each classroom. The teacher is an influencer of those parents. So we can go on and on with all this great information. This is just how you can put things together in something that resembles a marketing plan, and that sort of gives you a map for the rest of the year. So with the same audience, you might send a letter to each family, have a Facebook post about joining PTA, and all the great things you can do. Now, loyalty is the next thing we want to do. Increasing loyalty is sort of the magic bean in this whole process. There are basically 2 kinds of people. There are non-PTA members and there are PTA members. Of the non-PTA members, there are people that are not aware. There are people that are aware but don't really feel any certain way. And there are people that feel favorable to PTA, but they just for some reason haven't joined. And then there are the detractors. Now, this is going to be hard because this is really hard for me. I want you to not worry about the detractors. Don't spend a lot of time on those detractors. You're not going to probably move them. You're not going to move them easily. So let's just start, try to make the unaware aware, the aware favorable, and the favorable members. Now, in your membership group, you have the fans, the advocates, the volunteers, the leaders. These are the people, like crazy people like me, who when you slit my wrist, I bleed PTA. It's just, it's going to be hard to get me not to care about PTA because I just have such a great feeling about it. But not everyone does, and not even every single leader does, but you have those people at your school, and you have those people in your community. Then you have the occasionals and the volunteers, and this is where a lot of PTA members start. They can't be an officer, but they have a lot of things they can do. They might volunteer every once in a while, but they're supportive and they say nice things. They might show up to a meeting or at least to the association meeting every once in a while, and those people are really, really important to your organization. And then there are the uninvolved but the supportive. So the trick to loyalty is to move people along the continuum. The unaware to the aware to the favorable to the supportive to the occasional, to the fan base. The great thing that happens with this is our biggest potential. This is the group that is you have now developed hundreds of other people that are out there spreading the PTA message and asking people to become members. This is where you can have an exponential explosion of membership. It's like, and now I'm going to date myself, it's like the commercial of I told two friends and they told two friends and they told two friends, and if you were ever in the 70s, it's a L'Oreal commercial or something like that. But the point is that now Brian's not doing membership and I'm not doing membership. There's 50 people at our school, and then there's 100 people, and then everyone's doing membership because they just believe it and they love it and they're all doing it together. So the reason that we want to increase awareness in a positive way, then get our members going, then move those members along the spectrum. You might call it giving them a little taste test. What you don't want to do is what sometimes happens in PTA, and that's when you join and you're a really excited kindergarten parent and you join and you pay your membership dues and someone comes up to you and says, great, we need you to be the PTA president and you're in charge of the carnival, and here's 12 binders you need to memorize by Tuesday. The point is that you give them a little taste test. Thanks for joining, we really appreciate it. Do you want to come to a meeting? Can you do this little project with us? But if they say no, just remember, thank you so much for your membership and we won't bug you anymore. So that's moving people along the continuum and always increasing that loyalty. And here's Brian.
Okay. We want to talk, let me make sure, that, again, you need to start early. It's already July. Some schools are starting within the next couple of weeks, but start early and to use a number of ways of reaching out to the people. Do you talk to the people as they're dropping their kids off to school? Do you going to be there at back to school night? Are you going to be there at kindergarten orientation? There's any number of places where you need to be reaching out to new members. As Carol mentioned earlier about using key influencers, you have people, there are folks at the school who are kind of like the unofficial leaders there. They be sure that you recruit them, that they become PTA members to help you spread the message that you want them to join PTA. And truth be told, the best way to get somebody to join is to ask, and you need to ask them directly. And it's your board members and your members and need to be asking people to join. And use personal outreach with bilingual board members. We've got schools that have a number of languages spoken, And the only way that you can reach out to your entire school community is to use people who can communicate effectively with all of the people at your school. And reach out to parents of special needs students. Those parents, by their very nature, have to be involved in their kids' education. And they're a natural ally for becoming PTA members. And keep track of your membership and report on it at every PTA meeting, where you are and where you want to be. And as Carol mentioned before, there are people who haven't joined yet, and find out who they are and reach out to them and ask them to join. And again, I mentioned earlier that you can use a thermometer. There are other things you can do, having a basketball hoop and a basketball on an arc to the goal of making the goal of making a goal. And but have it out there where people can see how they're doing. If people don't know what's going on, it's really easy to assume that things are going okay. But it's really important that you keep people informed of where you are in relation to your membership goals. And again, use contests, use prizes, use incentives to encourage people to join. We all can be very competitive. I know I'm on this webinar with two of the most competitive people that you'll want to know.
Brian, are you saying Carol and Tamara are competitive?
I can speak to Justine and Carol, and they will if you can give them a challenge, they've challenged themselves to see who can recruit the most members to PTA.
You're not supposed to tell that.
Oh, but it's really important. Little do they know that I'm included in that challenge as well. But the thing of it is that people like to win, and you give them every opportunity they can to win by getting people to join PTA. So can we go on to the next slide there? Now, this is something, we've talked to you, and hopefully, you'll remember a lot of what we told you tonight. The webinar will be archived for you so that you can pull it down. But we have put together a lot of resources for you. At the state level, we have the PTA website. If you go click on the join button, you'll get a wealth of information. There will be a service mailing that goes out to every unit. That will include membership information and other information about a lot of the important and wonderful programs that the PTA has for you. Again, there, as Carol mentioned earlier, there's a customizable membership flyer on the website that you can pull down and make it fit your school. And again, there's the member perks, and we've seen that, and that people, as one of the reasons that people have joined. At the national level, there's a toolkit that you need to go on the National PTA website to sign up, and there are parts of it that deal with membership. There's a quick reference guide, brochures, and a lot of stuff that they have for you at the national website. They even have e-learning courses that include membership and leadership and diversity inclusion and a number of things that can help you as you run and grow your PTA. And tonight we have a download for you that's 100 ways to increase membership. And if you go over onto your control panel and you see handouts, you'll see the PDF file to download, and you click on that, and you should be able to download it to your computer. And we've taken a whole number of ideas and put them into a easy to read and easy to use brochure for you that can give you some ideas. There is far more than 101 ways to increase membership, but these are some of the things that have worked for other units in the past. So can we go on to the next slide here? Okay. We'd like to open it up for questions or discussion, or if there's some information you can give us, we'd certainly appreciate it.
This is Tamara again. We've shared a lot of information with you, and I'm sure you guys have some questions. We've already received a few coming in that we'll go ahead and queue up now. But if you haven't sent a question in, please type those in now, and I will read them off to the panelists. So guys, let's get started. First of all, we do have a question, and I might be able to answer this one. Is there a way to download a copy of this presentation? And typically, we will send a follow-up to all of the attendees tonight with a copy of this presentation and a link to view the recorded session. So that'll be good news for you. The next question is, how soon will the membership plans, awards, and incentives be announced to the units, councils, and districts so they can start promoting?
So this is Justine, and I want to let you know that we will probably be doing that by the end of July. As you know, in your PTA at the state level too, it needs to be approved before we can all just say we're going to do it. So we have a board of directors meeting next week. They get to approve it, and what the plan is, and then what the incentive is, and then what will be the ending opportunity. And as soon as they do, we can make sure we send it out. We'll send it out to our email list. It will definitely be going out to your districts for your districts to disperse. So there will be multiple ways to get it. It will be on the website. And I believe, Tam, we can also even use this webinar link, right, for the people who signed up for the webinar. If they're not on our regular email strand, we can use this as one of the strands we use.
Absolutely. We can save the registrants from this webinar to send that information out when it's ready.
Great. So just hang tight for about another week or so, and we'll be good to go.
Awesome. All right. The next question is, do you guys have a recommendation on an easy way to communicate with members? Right now, this particular unit is using a cut and paste email list, and they were wondering if PTA-EZ had a function where they would be able to email all the members at an individual school.
That is a very excellent question, and I'm going to say I don't believe, Carol may be, but I don't think Brian and I are experts at PTA-EZ. Is it possible for us, Tam, to get that information and we can email it out to this list? Because if there is, I think it's technical and I'm not sure exactly how to do it.
Absolutely, and I can consult with our PTA-EZ expert on staff, aka Cindy Barton.
And also I want you to check out one of our member perks, which is Volunteer Spot, because I believe Volunteer Spot also has a way for you to connect in that manner. So that's another thing that you can look at through one of our member perks, Volunteer Spot.
Yeah, Volunteer Spot, and I believe School Aptitude has something as well.
You are exactly
May I add something too?
Yes, go ahead.
Carol, the only thing I really want to emphasize is that there are ways that you can communicate with a large group of people through email, and that's certainly a really great way to do it. But I would say, as we do in testing for kids, let's think in multiple measures. So even if you're going to email, printing out a flyer to have at the school desk, putting something on a bulletin board, having it on Facebook, tweeting it on Twitter, the more different ways that you can reach people, actually marketers say it takes about 7 times before people get a message. We thought that was only our kids, but it turns out it's adults too. They have to hear it, see it, think about it about 7 times before they do it. So as you're thinking about how to reach them, try to think of multiple ways to do that.
Okay, and our next question. In an effort to save money, we do not buy envelopes, but we create a flyer. Is that appropriate?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
And there you go.
Yes.
Next question has to do with e-cards or digital membership cards. They don't see them available through their district's website and want to know a little bit about what they are and when they will be made available.
The e-cards are a PDF of the membership card that you saw on the screen, and they can be filled in, and Tamara is the one who coordinates that at the state office among all of the other things that she does. And they're distributed. We check with the districts to see how do the districts want to be the ones responsible for distributing them, or do the districts want to let the units communicate directly with the state office to get the e-cards. But basically, we've got the main way to use it is with an Excel spreadsheet and Outlook, which is part of the Windows, the Microsoft Office package. And you do a mail merge, and it fills in the cards, and then they can be distributed out to the people who have joined with it. They are intended to be as convenient as possible. We're exploring ways to be able to expand the ability to do the mail merge outside of Microsoft Outlook. But e-cards are useful. There are a lot of people who don't want pieces of paper anymore and keep stuff either electronically on their computer or on their phones.
And you can just save the image right on your phone and wave it at a meeting to prove your membership. Okay, thanks, Brian. We just got another question. I pushed my other question out of the way. What's a good answer to someone who wants to know where their money goes when they pay their dues?
So at your local unit level, you would talk about what's happening at your unit. You can also talk about if you know of anything happening in your PTA district as that goes up. At the state level, as I mentioned earlier, dues go to a lot of different things. They go to our advocacy efforts to make sure that we are monitoring legislation that would affect children and families, and that our volunteer advocates are able to go to the Capitol to testify or to work on behalf of legislation. And I just want to remind everybody that we work on behalf of legislation. We don't ever work with any candidates for any office. Also, we goes to programs, lots of different programs. So it goes to our programs for reflections, it goes to our scholarship and grant programs, it goes to, and I think Brian mentioned one of those, the translation grant. It goes to operate our website and all of our social media. It goes to the creation of resources and materials, especially around a lot of the things happening in the schools right now around accountability and assessment and LCF and LCAT. We're able to send a lot of volunteer leaders and trainers out to school districts to assist. It also helps us work with other allied agencies and the California School Boards Association and the Association of California School Administrators on how to engage and work with parents. So the money that is sent through dues up through channels covers a broad base of things that happen, including the summer service mailing coming your way, and all the things that we need to make this webinar happen, and a ton of other stuff. When you look through our website, everything is touched by your dues.
I just want to add in another part, is that with very little exception, all of the people who are involved at the state level are volunteers. And most of the people at the national level, the national president on down, all the officers are volunteers. And sometimes we hear rumors about positions being paid. We have staff like Tamara who provide an incredible amount of support to us. But for the volunteers, go all the way up through to the National PTA president. And so when people talk about the salary of the district president or the pay of the state president, they are getting the same amount of pay as you are as local volunteers.
Awesome, thanks, Brian. And the aforementioned amazing Cindy Barton actually emailed me. She must be listening in on the webinar tonight and has an answer about the email ability of PTA-EZ.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so there are two versions of PTA-EZ. One is the free version that can be used to enter your officer information. And the other version is a paid version with a finance module, and that paid version does have an email feature. So if you want...
And thank you.
So
Tam, I just want to, finish up because I want to point something out that's great about Cindy.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say that if you wanted more information about the costs and the features involved with that upgrade, you can go to ptaez.com or call us at the state office.
And so I do want to just give a shout out. As Brian said, we do have a small staff in Sacramento, and they are a massive support system. So I want to also talk a little bit about your dues. They go to great people like Cindy Barton, who works with our leaders and around membership and getting information and assisting leaders, to Tamara also, who's helping with this webinar, for our tax filing service and all the people that help when we have issues around IRS or 9 or franchise tax board or attorney general issues. Those, we do have support staff that we couldn't operate without, and we couldn't make sure that you're getting everything that you need in a timely manner as a PTA leader. So I want to always shout out to our people who work on our behalf. Cindy Barton is one of them, and thank you so much for that. Coming in with the answer, I knew you'd have it. And for Tam being on this webinar, those are people that make sure that you get everything you need to run your PTA, and they don't like when we thank them, but I'm going to thank them anyway.
And I'm going to echo that.
And your membership is just a great bargain. If you think about the small amount that you pay and the return on your investment, it is definitely one of the smartest investments that anyone could ever make. And when you think about your child and your children and all the things you want for them, I just don't see how anyone could not want to invest in their children and be a member of PTA.
Thanks, you guys. I know we're running short on time. I do have quite a few questions. We'll go through a few more key questions, and then anything that we don't have time to answer, we can follow up with an email to you personally. So don't think that the question's going to get lost, guys. There was a question about whether they had to pay for membership cards or if they were free, and how to get them at the PTA unit level.
PTA cards are free to you. They have been distributed to your district presidents, and then the districts are responsible for getting the cards down to the units. If you don't get one, if you're in a council, talk to your council president, and if you're not in a council, call your district president to find out where your cards are. They should be coming to you in the next week to 2 weeks. We've sent the cards out to the districts already.
Okay, let's see. That's e-cards. No, we did that one. Oh, will we have membership cards available in other languages than English and Spanish? Are there plans for those to be either printed or perhaps distributed electronically in perhaps Korean or Japanese?
That's a great idea. And we know that what the major languages are in our state, and I think that that's something that Brian can definitely take and talk about with the membership commission, because I think it would be a great way for us to show how much we do value all our families and the cultures that they bring that make up our schools. So that is a great idea, whoever that came from. Kudos to you.
Quickly, I'll just mention that the membership flyers that are available at the California State PTA website are available in multiple languages, not just English and Spanish. There are several languages. And the new PTA in California that's coming out will also be downloadable and available in 5 different languages.
Fabulous. Yeah, that even includes, I think we did that one in Tagalog too, right?
Yes, and
Arabic.
Chinese and Arabic, Spanish and English. Those are the 5, I think.
Awesome. And then one last question we have time for. What do you set your membership goal, or how do you set your membership goal if your school population is decreasing, and how long should the campaign, your initial campaign, last?
If you have declining enrollment, try to set your membership goal as a percentage of the number of students. The average statewide is about 25%. If you have 100 students at a school, the average would be 25 PTA members, and that's just using that as an example. But again, there's still, if you take a look and find out that you have a lot of parents that haven't joined, even though you've got declining enrollment, that shouldn't be a barrier to you setting a goal of getting 2% more than you had the year before. If you've got a lot of parents that haven't joined yet, you've still got plenty of room to grow. And as far as the major effort, the beginning of the school year is clearly the time for the major effort, but this is in the cases of declining enrollment, that's even more incentive for you to have an active membership campaign for the rest of the school year as well. Again, after you come back from Christmas vacation and you're getting ready to go, get set for the home stretch, that's time to again ramp up your membership efforts.
Awesome. Well, I want to be respectful of everyone's time, and it is 8:01. So any questions that we haven't answered now in the live session, please be aware we will follow up with you with a personal email, so you'll have those answered. And I'm going to hand things back over to Brian for a quick wrap-up.
We want to thank you. We've had 75 people sign up and participate on this call tonight. I really appreciate you being here. I hope I'm not just preaching to the choir, but for those of you who have friends who couldn't make it, please contact them and let them know that membership is really important and that we've got lots of resources and support available to help you grow your membership for the next year. Again, this is the time to do good things for kids and join PTA. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening and a great rest of your week.